Welcome, beautiful, beloved souls, to my channel. If I got that the right way, that would help, wouldn't it? My name is Gemstone, and I'm a psychic medium, and I'm an author of over 40 books. Now, just like my books, content on my channel varies. I look at anything and everything to do with life and death through a lens. Now, because I am a psychic medium, I can remote view, which is totally different to channeling. I can do channeling as well. Think of remote viewing as just getting words or pieces of a puzzle, where channeling is the completed puzzle. So when I remote view, I'll think and I'll go with whatever the first word comes to me, where when I channel, the channeling, I let my hand be guided, and I'll just, especially in automatic writing, and I'll do whole paragraphs. But very much in remote viewing, I'm in control. All right, let's get on to the session. I just remote viewed the sky, and you can see my writing is quite neat. So I'm just going to leave this up here so you can have a quick look at what I came across, and we'll get on with the video. So it's titled The Symbolic Sky Map: Why Remote Viewing Speaks in Archetypes. In this video, I want to explore something strange that happened during a remote viewing session focused on the sky above Earth in 2026, not from the perspective of certainty, not prophecy, not fear, but from the perspective of symbolic intelligence. Because one of the biggest misunderstandings people have about psychic impressions is this: they assume the mind receives information like a literal photograph, but often it doesn't. The subconscious mind translates unknown information into symbols, emotional textures, archetypes, sounds, and fragments that we can emotionally recognize before we intellectually understand them. Almost like dreaming while awake. And what I received during this session was not a clean narrative. It was a symbolic map, a strange landscape of ancient imagery, metallic sensations, dimensional themes, sound frequencies, and fractured pathways. So, in this video, we are going to decode that map together, not as absolute truth, but as a psychological and intuitive exploration of how consciousness processes the unknown. When I focused on the sky, the very first impressions I received were ancient, myth, built, constructed. Now, immediately, that creates an unusual contradiction. Something ancient, but engineered. That combination appears constantly in mythology and paranormal experiences. The idea that behind reality there may exist structures or intelligences so old that they become mythological, yet still technological at the same time. Oh, I'm having trouble with my words today. Sorry, guys. Ancient civilizations often described the gods as both spiritual and mechanical. flying chariots, burning wheels, sky towers, serpentine beings descending from above. Modern humans reinterpret those same symbols through the language of spacecraft, simulations, dimensions, and advanced technology. The symbols evolve, but the archetypes remain remarkably similar. Then the imagery shifted towards perception itself. I got filter, rays, lens, fake, hidden, walls, velvet. This felt deeply connected to concealment, almost as if subconscious was describing reality as layered, not necessarily fake in the simplistic sense, but filtered. Like consciousness only perceives a narrow band of a much larger structure. Think about it. Human beings already live inside perceptual limitations. We cannot naturally see infrared, ultraviolet, radio waves, or magnetic fields. Entire worlds already exist around us invisibly. So, when the subconscious tries to process the unknown, it often uses symbols like veils, filters, lens, walls, curtains, or hidden rooms. And one word fascinated me more than all the others. I wrote the word remote viewed velvet. I wrote velvet. Think about velvet. Velvet is soft darkness, a curtain, a covering, something theatrical. It gives the impression not of empty space, but concealed space. Then the words next were one of the strongest archetype clusters in the session. These words I got were snake, dragon, monsters, legion, beings. Now, psychologically, serpent imagery is ancient beyond comprehension. The snake appears in nearly every civilization on Earth, in creation myths, underworld myths, wisdom myths, chaos myths, guardianship myths. The serpent can represent danger, but also transformation, fear, but also awakening. And this is important. The subconscious mind does not necessarily use symbols literally. If someone remote views a dragon, it does not mean a physical dragon exists in the sky. It may mean power, predatory intelligence, ancient energy, territorial force, or overwhelming fear. This is why symbolic interpretation matters, because the psyche communicates through emotional shorthand. Dreams do this constantly. You do not dream in scientific language. You dream in symbols. Then the atmosphere of the session became colder. So the words were dark, freezing, black, fallen. This section carried emotional heaviness, almost like environmental collapse imagery. And then other words I got tower, destroy, fracture, catastrophe. Now, this is where many people panic during psychic work. They assume symbolic material is predicting literal disasters. But often the psyche dramatizes uncertainty using catastrophic imagery because transformation itself feels threatening to the human nervous system. Even positive change can symbolically appear as collapse. A tower falling is one of the oldest archetypes in existence. It represents systems breaking apart, false structures collapsing, ego dissolution, paradigm shifts. The mind may not be predicting the end of the world. It may be simply expressing the fear of reality changing. Then came one of the strangest impressions. Near-Earth object, 2028 with a question mark. Now, I want to be responsible here. Remote viewing is notoriously unreliable with exact dates and concrete predictions. Human consciousness is influenced by media, astronomy discussions, collective fears, films, online narratives, and unconscious pattern absorption. So I would never present a psychic date as factual certainty. But what interests me is why the subconscious attached anxiety to a celestial object at all. Perhaps the mind was symbolizing the feeling of something approaching humanity psychologically rather than physically, an incoming realization, an approaching transition, a pressure building in collective consciousness. The psyche often internalizes inner tension as cosmic imagery. Then the session transformed completely. Instead of words, I began drawing lines, one pathway splitting into three. And this may have been the most important part of the entire experience because it resembled branching interpretations. Three possible ways consciousness tries to explore the unknown. The first path felt metallic. I wrote metallic scrape, cold, mechanical, artificial. This pathway interpreted the anomaly as technological, machines, craft, structures. The second path became vibrational. I wrote hum, noise, frequency. This pathway interpreted the anomaly energetically as resonance, signal, environmental pressure. And the third path became territorial. I wrote war, beings, consciousness. This pathway interpreted the unknown psychologically and mythologically as conflict between forces, not necessarily a physical war, but ideological, spiritual, dimensional, or conscious conflict. And then came the final imagery. I wrote pit, water, below. This felt deeply archetypal. The underworld, the unconscious, the hidden depths beneath perception. Water, in psychology, often represents the subconscious mind itself. Depths we cannot fully see. Emotions beneath awareness. Ancient memory, which raises a fascinating possibility. Maybe remote viewing is not simply seeing external reality. Maybe it is consciousness attempting to translate something beyond ordinary language using the symbolic Let me repeat that. So sorry, I'm having trouble with my words today. Come on, Jem. Maybe it is consciousness attempting to translate something beyond ordinary language using the symbolic library buried inside the human psyche, a bridge between intuition and imagination, a conversation between mystery and metaphor. And perhaps that is the true lesson here. Not whether cloaked ships literally exist overhead, not whether dragons are real, not whether a catastrophe is approaching, but understanding that human consciousness interprets uncertainty through symbols older than civilization itself. Myths survive because archetypes survive. So, again, the servant, the tower, the hidden veil, the hum, the sky beings, the fracture in reality, they all came through in my remote viewing. And these themes repeat generation after generation because they emerge from somewhere deep inside the human experience. And when people remote dream, I really am having trouble, but I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to edit it because I like to be authentic. And when people remote view, dream, channel, or intuitively perceive, the mind often reaches for those ancient symbols automatically, not because the symbols are false, but because symbolism may be the closest language consciousness has to describing the unknown. So maybe the real mystery is not the sky itself. Maybe the mystery is why humanity keeps dreaming the same symbols across thousands of years. And whether those symbols are warning us, reflecting us, or simply revealing the hidden architecture of the mind itself. So, let me know, beautiful beloved souls, what you think, and I will show you very quickly. Again, please be kind to each other. Take care of yourselves. And smile at a stranger. It costs nothing to be nice, does it? And most of all, take care of yourselves because your lives matter. You are special. You are here for a reason. Once again, my name is Gemstone. Drop a comment below. Thanks for watching. Love, light, and blessings. Do your own remote view the sky and see what you get. Bye.